Right, going back to the top story, Prime Minister Modi's messaging to Pakistan in the wake of Operation Synindur. And joining us is Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar. He's a former Indian envoy to Kazakhstan, Sweden and Latvia. Ambassador, welcome to DD India News Hour. Now, slamming Pakistan, the Prime Minister has said that it is no longer a proxy war and that terrorism is actually Pakistan's well-planned strategy. He also said that India will accordingly retaliate. Now, so has India virtually put Pakistan on notice? Another act of terror, and India will treat it as an act of war.
Thank you very much, Ramesh, for having me on the show.
Welcome.
That's very right. You know, this is the new doctrine that Prime Minister Modi had enunciated earlier, that we are now not going to differentiate between the terrorists and those who support the terrorists in Pakistan, which is the Pakistan Army and the spy agency, the ISI. And I think that is going to be increasingly put into operation. If there is a next terror attack, then it is going to be, the punishment is going to be much more severe, and it is not going to differentiate between the terrorists only, but it will be, there will be no distinction between those who are supporting, funding, financing, training the terrorists and those who are carrying out these acts themselves.
Also, Ambassador, Prime Minister Modi delivered a direct message to Pakistani citizens. He urged Pakistani youths in particular to speak out against terrorism sponsored by their country's own army. Do you think the message would hit home?
I think this would have a lot of resonance, Ramesh. You might recall that, I don't exactly remember the year, but some years ago, I think 7-8 years ago, speaking from Kerala, he had even at that time exhorted the Pakistani people to see what the reality of the situation is. But I think today there is, in my view, there's going to be much greater resonance. Because just look around in Pakistan as to what is happening. You know, whether it is in Balochistan, the sort of violence, the sort of death, destruction, ordinary people, they are, how they are being treated. You look at Sindh, the protests that are taking place there. You look at Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, you look at POK. So across the whole country, there is a problem. There's a problem of politics. Their most popular leader is behind bars. Their economy is in shambles. This is, 25th, 26th IMF loan. The inflation is at 38%. There is, they do not have calm borders, quiet borders, either with Afghanistan or with Iran. There is Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and the list is endless. So I think the sort of situation, the conditions that the Pakistani people are living right now, are going through, are very dire conditions. So I think this message, this appeal could hit home, that what has all this power to the army really got them in terms of, their either safety, security or better living standards. So I think they really need to introspect and to take whatever actions they need to take in terms of sending out a very clear message, both to the government, to the civilian government, as well as to the army, that they will not tolerate this any further.
Indeed. Let me now draw your attention to another aspect of this entire debate and discussion. How do you view India's ongoing diplomatic offensive to expose Pakistan on the world stage?
I think it's a very good initiative, Ramesh, in my view. Number one, because, we have sent out multi-party delegations to all these 33 countries, 7 delegations. So I think, one, it sends out a very clear message that the whole country is united as far as dealing with terrorism is concerned, dealing with the cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan. Because we have seen across the board in most democracies, there is great polarization. But as far as India is concerned, the whole country is united. The second is that India is, it sends out a message. Some people say that couldn't this task also have been performed by our embassies? What are our embassies doing? I think by sending out these delegations, India is sending out this message that India is very serious about the whole issue of terrorism, and that what happened on 22nd of April in Pahalgam, it was not an issue of Kashmir. Kashmir was not the problem. It was a terrorist attack, and India will continue to fight the scourge of terrorism, the terrorist forces, and it is a fight that it is engaging in not only for itself but it is for the world, because the fight of terrorism is also of the world, and it is good if the whole world comes together with India to fight this scourge, because Pakistan has been known to support terrorism, all terrorist acts wherever they have taken place: London, Bali, Madrid, New York, and of course in India. They have all been connected with Pakistan. So the world, number one, needs to support India in its fight against terrorism. Also, the world needs to put pressure on Pakistan. I think the message is also going out that it would be necessary to put Pakistan again in the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force, so that funds that are coming in, whether it's through investment or IMF loans, that there is a much closer scrutiny and much closer check on how they are being utilized, and they are not going in for terrorist purposes or for other money laundering activities.
And finally, Ambassador, going back to Prime Minister Modi's speech in Gujarat, what did you make of his call for reducing reliance on foreign goods? Is urging Indians to take pride in made in India products.
No, absolutely. I think this has really, if I can use that word, Ramesh, stunned not only the world but also Indian people, that are indigenously manufactured goods, whether it is air defense systems or whether it is the offensive weaponry that we have been working on for the last 8-10 years, that it has delivered such phenomenal results, phenomenal success rate has been enormous, has been amazing. And I think that has brought home that fine, we have been all these years dependent. There were very many doubters. There were very many naysayers when we launched this Atma initiative. But you look at, I think, the applause that our products are getting and the new orders that they are getting from across the world. It means that we can really do it. And also, as far as other, not only defense equipment, but one district, one product, those initiatives that have been taken, I think there is so much of talent, and by the government coming and hand-holding in terms of quality control, in terms of delivery schedules, in terms of packaging, I think we can definitely make a mark, both in terms of increasing our export revenues as also in terms of limiting our imports of consumer goods and consumer products. I think it is absolutely necessary across the board. And we have known that as far as technology is concerned, India has, very good talent in that area. So across the board, whether it is in manufacturing, services, or defense equipment also, as I said, there are huge prospects and there is great potential for taking the country forward.
Ambassador Synindur, pleasure as always to talk to you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ramesh.